Hello friends, welcome to Epcot. Today is day one of the Food and Wine Festival of 2023 and I can't be any more excited for this. Food and wine is one of my favorites. Now I know that every festival has food, but being a chef or a former chef, there's something about Food and Wine Festival that just does it for me more than anything else. So I am extremely pumped about this event. Now, we are going to try to do as much as we can and eat as much as we can, but I think I'm going to focus today on a lot of the new items because there are a lot of new items that have not been seen before or some items that have been brought back after a very long time. So I think I'm going to focus on those today and highlight some of that, but we're going to take a walk around Epcot. I'm going to show you what is at some of the booths as well and just have a amazing Food and Wine Festival day. Casey's gonna meet up with me later so we can try some foods together, but I'm here early entry and I'm just gonna soak up Epcot. I'm gonna get some coffee and just walk around for a little bit, take a look at some of the booths, and then we'll eat some food a little bit later. Let's do this. So as I speak, I am on the back side of Rose and Crown, just kind of taking in some of the views because the park is actually technically not open yet. There are the lines to get into the different areas. So I was like, instead of waiting in line, let's just take in some of the views. Because when do you rarely ever get a chance to just sit here non-crowded and just take in all of Epcot? So here's a map of this year's Food and Wine Festival and all the different booths. There are a ton of them and a lot of returning ones, but there's also some new stuff too. The Fry Basket is back, Flavors of Fire is back, and they bringing back the Brewing Laboratory at Odyssey. Now some of these don't open up for a little while. The Noodle Exchange doesn't open up till August 15th, and some of the new ones that are here are Swirled Showcase, which doesn't open up to September 22nd. There's also Bubbles and Brines, Wine and Wedge, and Char and Chop. Those are all the new ones that are opening, and they all don't open up to September 22nd, so I'm gonna have to come back and try those a different day. And also Hawaii. Hawaii doesn't open up till August 15th, so keep that in mind if you guys are coming here for the Food and Wine Festival. Some of those aren't open up till August or September. But this is the map. We're gonna try a lot today, especially Epcot. We're gonna try Mexico, and we're going to try Italy for sure because that is a completely brand new menu that has not been seen yet. So we're going to try those for sure. But again, just walk around for a little bit and just enjoy Epcot morning. Again, I need to find some coffee. I want some Joffrey's and nothing's open yet, so I'm kind of bummed on that. But that's okay. We're going to make it happen. Well, people are moving, so we get to go in finally to the areas of Epcot. I do want to give some context though. If you guys are staying at resorts that have early entry, depending on where you're staying, I came in through the International Gateway over by England and France. So you're kind of able to linger around in England for a little bit until they opened everything up. But we are now going in through France so I can get some coffee and then wherever the day takes us. Hopefully on a culinary journey. That's what I'm really hoping it takes us on, is a culinary journey. So let's go figure out what coffee's open because I need it. I did just notice though that France took away the chocolate martini, which I feel was on their menu for a while. And I know it was a really popular one. I know Casey tried it several times and I've always saw a bunch of people with it. And it was a popular one, but it's not on their menu anymore. They replaced it with a couple other things, but that's weird. I thought that was an insanely good drink. But again, the whole point of this is to innovate and change and find something new. So I'm all for that as well. So one of the reasons I actually woke up pretty early this morning to get here for early entry rope drop is this. I've said in other videos, I just absolutely love walking through Disney parks when they're not crowded. It just feels so nice to not have to be like ducking and dodging people the whole time, and it's just awesome just to kind of walk around at your own pace with nobody around. It's so much fun. So if you guys are staying on property, I highly suggest at least one time you get up super early and just come walk around when nothing's really even open yet. Trust me, you won't regret it. You'll love it. Coffee acquired, thanks to Joffrey's. Now I can move on. There's something about coffee, and people that drink it know you just cannot start your day sometimes without it. You just need that first sip and then you're ready. And I'm ready to conquer the day. First monorail of the morning. So we are finally open. We are starting in Mexico. We are going to be the second ones in line to actually get some food. We are going to do the whole menu so we can sample everything. I'm pretty pumped about that. Let's check out Mexico. So first food acquired of the 2023 Food and Wine Festival. And this is one of the menus I've been looking forward to the most. This is the Mexico Pavilion booth. And so we got one of each. This is the tostada with pork, beans, and also has cojita cheese and avocado mousse. And then this is the short rib taco, which shaves spring onions, avocado mousse, and cilantro. And this here is what I was really excited about. This is the flan and tres leches cake. Oh my goodness, this thing just looks absolutely incredible. I can't wait to try these. So I think the first thing I want to try is get the taco. I'm going to finish with the dessert. The taco, it's small, but again, this is the beauty of Food and Wine Festival, is that you get these small portions. And like I said, Casey and I are sharing everything today. So it makes it nice because we don't get as stuffed as we would quickly if we were just eating it by ourselves. But this is the taco. Can't wait for that one. The flavor, so good. It's exactly what I wanted. The pork is super juicy too, but it still has like a crispy crunch to it, which is it's the short rib, not the pork. The short rib, which sometimes it's hard to do to get it that juicy and also that crispy. That is really, really good. Now I want to try the tostada. I absolutely love tostadas. This one has the pork, but also has black beans, cojita, and that same avocado crema that's on the other one.
I want more avocado crema on the taco.
Yeah, this avocado crema is fantastic. So if you do, Casey just mentioned more on the taco. See if you can get extra avocado crema, because that is a must. That's so good. Wow. Once again, flavor on that pork, incredible. The pork is just like the short rib. The pork is super, super tender and juicy. And that tostada is like perfectly crunchy, and that avocado crema just has a great flavor. Just so, so good. And now for me, this is what I've been looking for. I love tres leches cake, and to kind of include that in with flan, you can't go wrong with that at all. So I'm gonna just get a big giant bite of all of it. Look at that. A little bit of flan, a little bit of tres leches, a little bit of whipped cream. That is incredible. And I'm not kidding. I know I said incredible several times, but this is truly incredible. The flan almost tastes like horchata. And then you get that really awesome tres leches cake that has 3 different types of milk in it. And with the whipped cream, that's beautiful. Mexico, you lived up to the hype. That menu looked good, it tastes good. That's awesome. I can't wait to try more of this food later on. So Mexico booth did not disappoint. I did try the dessert as separate elements as well, and it actually changes the flavor profile of it all. But we're going to go into Brewing Lab because we want to try that pickle milkshake. And we're also going to get the peanut butter and jelly wings that were from last year. All right, so we are in the Wing Brew Lab, and here it is. The pickle milkshake. I've heard some people around me already saying that it's actually pretty decent, so first reaction, here we go. Who knows? I have no clue. It looks weird. That is strangely good. So you get that dill pickle right off the bat, and then you get like almost like a shamrock shake type of taste. It's really weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's actually better with the whipped cream. If you take the whipped cream and then drink it, it's actually way better. But it almost tastes like a Shamrock Shake that they dumped pickle juice in. That's really what I think. So we also got the plant-based, this is the Buffalo Brussels sprouts. And it also has plant-based ranch dressing and blue cheese on it. And then we also got the pb&j wings that is the return from last year. Just because out of context we wanted to eat, we just didn't want to drink a milkshake. So
I already had one, and they're just like the ones from the Steakhouse 71.
Yes. Okay. Then that's even better. Casey just said, if you didn't hear her, it tastes like Steakhouse 71 wings, which are phenomenal over there. So let's give those a whirl. All right, so Casey mentioned that it tastes like the Steakhouse 71 PB&J wings, which are incredible. It's one of the best things on the menu. I'm dropping peanuts everywhere. So if this is as good as that, this is perfect, as they are incredible over there. Yes. Just as good as Steakhouse 71. Those are so good. All right, and now the Brussels sprouts with the plant-based ranch and blue cheese. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it because I'm not really a plant-based person. But Buffalo Brussels sprouts, I'm definitely in for that. So we'll see how the plant-based stuff tastes like. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. The Buffalo Brussels sprouts are incredible. The plant-based ranch and blue cheese do have kind of like a funky plant-based taste to it, but the overall, you can tell the flavors are there for the ranch. The blue cheese, not so much, but they're good. I think I would actually prefer these without any of the plant-based stuff and just actually have the Buffalo Brussels sprouts, because those on their own are really good. So I went back to this and I mixed all the whipped cream into the actual milkshake itself. Definitely a little bit better because the whipped cream adds a little bit more of like a sweetness to it than you normally get from it. But Casey made a really good comment just now about it's almost missing that vinegar type taste that you get from pickles, that briny taste. This tastes more just like fresh dill than it does actually like dill pickles. So when they call it a pickle, you can kind of tell the essence of it, but in a sense it's still missing that like vinegar briny type taste. Overall, though, I do like this, and if I would give it on a rating of 1 to 10, I would probably say about a 6.5. I would give it. So the next stop on our culinary journey is we are going to stop at India. Earlier in my video, I showed you the curry spice crispy cheese, and Casey wants to try it, so we're actually going to get that one as well, just to try. And like I said, I think it's the best thing on this menu. You can't go wrong with crispy cheese. So the cool thing is that you do get pretty decent portions. You get 5 portions of these, which are pretty good size. And for cheese, they fill you up. Now, if you are participating in the Emil's Fromage Montage, this is on there. So I'm not doing it, but if you are, this is one of the items. So you will have to stop here if you are doing the Emil's Fromage Montage. But I'm not, so we're gonna eat. Now, I love curry, so that curry spice is really good. Like you can see in there on top of it, you can see the yellow curry flavor. Similar to the other cheeses we had, these aren't cooked to order. So when you get the cheese is not really super melty, which kind of stinks, but again, I understand why. When you have so many people that are trying to get food, you're trying to get it out as quick as possible. So I totally get it. I understand why they do it. But nonetheless, again, still extremely delicious. So next up on our list is Italy. This is the other booth that I was super excited about. Their menu looked awesome, which typically Italy's menu, it's decent, but it doesn't really kind of get any excitement going. But this was the menu. I showed it to you earlier, but I'll show it to you while we're waiting in line for a second. And so they have the focaccia, ripiena, and it's a freshly baked focaccia bread with beef meatballs, tomato sauce, and burrata cheese, a cavatelli pasta with sweet sausage ragu and crispy applewood smoked bacon, and they also have the lemon ricotta cheesecake that has vanilla cream and strawberry compote. It just sounds amazing, so I really hope it lives up to that, because I've been excited about this since they released the menu. So we got the goods in Italy. We got a nice Italian mineral water. This is the focaccia with meatballs and red sauce and burrata. This is the gnocchi that has a nice cream sauce and applewood smoked bacon. And then this is the dessert, the lemon ricotta cheesecake with berries. All of this looks really good. This is, like I said, a booth I've been looking forward to. So let's give all of this a quick try and see what we actually think. All right, so first I want to try the actual meatballs. Not really sure how to actually do this. I think it's going to be more of like a grab, like a little piece of like everything. I think that works. So this is the focaccia with burrata and meatballs and a red sauce. This looks good. That's really good. I really like that. The meatballs, I do personally think the meatballs lack just a little bit of flavor, but the focaccia bread is really good. Like super soft, crispy on the outside. The burrata, it almost, I don't really see where the burrata is almost. It almost tastes more ricotta-ish. But it says it's supposed to be burrata, but it looks like a whipped like ricotta or something along those lines. But whatever it is, it's really good. Like I said, the meatballs do lack a little bit of flavor in my opinion. I wish they had more of a punch. But overall, as a combined like unit, it's a really good dish. Not too bad at all. And for the price, worth it.
They're moist, they're not dry. At least they're moist.
That is true. Casey did just point out that they actually are a moist meatball. But just to kind of show you, it does look a little bland, but actually, you know what? On their own, they're actually not that bland. Maybe it was a combination of something. Because actually, on their own, they're actually really moist and really good, actually. So I don't know what it was that actually had that bland taste. But overall, I liked it. I'd probably give it probably about a 7 out of 10. That would be what I would give it. Let's try the pasta, because that's what I was really excited about. All right, so the pasta, it's a cavatappi with a cream sauce, applewood smoked bacon, and it looks like micro arugula or basil. Probably basil, actually. That's really what it looks like. It's not, well, that's what they call it. Or no, they call it cavatelli. That's what it is. Sorry, it's cavatelli, not cavatappi. But it looks really good, and I love cream pasta, and it has that sausage ragu, so. I would eat a giant bowl of that. I'm trying to find something like critical, so this could be like a true food review, but it's actually really good. I don't really have anything critical to say about that pasta dish. I like it. The flavors all come together really, really, really nicely. And every single component really matches like what the dish should taste like. I think that's a winner. That's a really, I would eat a giant bowl of that if they served a giant bowl of that. So first bite of the dessert. This I was really excited about because it was a lemon ricotta cheesecake. And that just sounds just really, really good and almost kind of refreshing, especially on a hot day. It looks good. And I love cheesecake. So like I said, cheesecake, love it. Lemon ricotta, you can't miss with that. So far the menu is actually pretty good. So hopefully this kind of rounds out the Italy booth menu. Only one way to find out. Wow. Again, I'm trying to find something critical, but I can't. That every component of that is just really smooth and creamy. You taste that cheesecake, but then you get like this very subtle like lemon ricotta flavor. And then the fresh strawberries just give it like this freshness that it needs, like this almost like clean freshness. That's really, really good. I would probably give that a solid 8.5 out of 10 personally. I would eat that dessert all the time. Very good job on the Italy booth. They again, they kind of lived up to what my expectations were. I think the focaccia and the meatballs was my least favorite. I don't really think that I would get that again. The cavatelli, I would definitely do that pasta again, and that dessert. The dessert is so clean and refreshing, especially on a hot day.
Daddy.
So just after I got done talking, Casey actually kind of had her own opinion on something. So what did you think of it?
I agree with you on the cheesecake. I think that's incredibly light and refreshing. But I disagree on your take on the two dishes. I think the cavatelli, is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Is without the bacon would be very bland and boring. I think sub the bacon, it's just a creamy pasta, and I didn't find too much flavor in it. The meatball, I think you did a disservice to. I think it's super, super moist, and I think it's very flavorful. I do agree this is not burrata. It's like a whipped ricotta, or like almost like a whipped cottage cheese kind of thing. But the focaccia is great. I think this is phenomenal, and this gets like a 2 out of 10 for me. This might get like a 7.5 out of 10, which for me is a high rating because I rate much lower than Eric does. I give this actually like an 8 out of 10.
Okay. So we're on the same page with the dessert, but we're completely opposite on the thing.
I'm feeding this to the baby.
I like the pasta personally, but I do agree with Casey. I did do the meatballs a disservice because honestly, the meatballs are they're moist and they are flavorful on their own. There's something else in the dish that I don't think kind of went together. The focaccia was really, really, really good. Maybe it was the pasta sauce. Maybe I don't know.
I don't see what you're saying.
I don't know.
I think it melted
I think
together very
this is the beauty of food and wine, and this is the beauty of sharing the food because everyone has their own taste buds and everyone has their own opinions, and everyone's going to find their own thing. And the good part of it is that we like opposite things, which means that we get to eat.
You can eat your boring
Opposite of
pasta, and I'll eat the meatball.
I'm going to eat the rest of the pasta, and we'll split the dessert since we're both pretty much on the same page. One booth I forgot to highlight when I was here earlier was the America Pavilion booth. And they actually have several new items, but one item in particular I really want to try, and that is the Chicago Italian beef sandwich. The reason why is I am from the Chicagoland area originally, and I am very, very critical on Chicago beef, or even just Chicago food in general. So I really want to try it and see how well they did. It sounds like it's correct. The French roll, the hot giardiniera, everything. So it sounds like the sandwich is right up of what it should be, just how the execution is. So we're gonna go give that a try from the America Pavilion and give you our honest Chicagoland critique. All right, so we acquired the beef. So it actually, I mean, if you look at it, it does resemble a Chicago beef, obviously in miniature portion of it. In true Chicago fashion, I'm going to take the au jus that normally the beef is dipped in if you go to Chicago, and I am just going to drench the beef in the au jus. Because in Chicago, that's how you do it. Well, that is not a drench. There's a drench. That's a drench. Now this is what we would call wet and dipped in Chicago. Let's try to give it a try. All right, so at first glance, it looks like a Chicago beef sandwich, just a miniature version of it. So let's give it a try and see, because the giardiniera does look spot on. Is the taste spot on? That's the question. Messy, messy, messy. So the flavors are there. The giardiniera is fantastic. The beef is super, super tender. My only complaint is that it's extremely salty, and I'm assuming that's probably from the actual au jus, because as soon as you drink it, the first thing that you get is just this extremely salty bite. But just to make sure that that's what it is, that's what it is. That au jus is like a mouthful of salt. And as most of you know, salt can ruin a dish. You need it, but it can ruin it. It's a good dish. Would I get it again? No. I would give it a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I know. 3 out of 10.
Well, I've already tasted the broth, so I know it's definitely too salty. And I'm not like a huge fan of beefs to begin with. I like a deep dish pizza. That's my Chicago food.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's like really, it lasts a long time, right?
It's so salty. So salty.
What would you give the rating?
A 1 out of 10.
A 1 out of 10. Are you kidding? So I'm not kidding when I say this is super, super salty. It is insanely salty. It's almost at a point where you can't even eat more than one bite. It's kind of bad. I don't recommend this at all, to be honest with you. And then that's just, like I said, I'm uber critical. And this is not even just being critical. This is just salt. Way, way, way too salty. Skip the Italian beef from American Pavilion. Try something different. Go back to Mexico. I hate to do this because I just don't like wasting food, but that is a big giant no in the garbage. Sorry, American Pavilion, but that was a missed opportunity at a really, really good sandwich. So to continue our culinary journey, we're going to hit up Japan, who they have 2 brand new items. We're just going to try one of them, which is the fire taco roll. It's a sushi roll with spicy tuna, cucumber, pickled daikon radish, and it's served with a spicy sauce. It is brand new to the menu this year. The other brand new the item that they have is the beef wagyu don, which is a Japanese rice bowl with American wagyu beef. That is also a new menu item this year, but we're just going to try the sushi since we are giant sushi fans and see how good that is. Because like I said, they got rid of the sushi donut roll, and the sushi donut roll was more of a photo op than it was delicious. So I'm hoping that this sushi option is going to be better than that sushi donut roll. And it's also getting definitely a little overcast, so we may be putting raincoats on very shortly. But the good news is that we have already eaten a lot of food so far, which is great. So hopefully if it does rain, it's not going to rain long because it is Florida, obviously, but it'll last just long enough that we can maybe get out of the rain, sit down, and take a break for a little bit. So first glance at the taco roll, it looks really good. I love spicy tuna, and this is pretty much right up my alley in that sense. You do only get 3 little small pieces, but again, Food and Wine Festival, you don't want big portions because you want to just keep eating. I mean, we've eaten in now, I don't even know how many. I think I've lost count. I think 6 different places maybe, and I'm getting kind of full, but I'm not quite there yet. So this is perfect to just split 3 pieces of sushi between 2 of us. But let's try the sushi roll. It's good. It's sushi. I know. Obviously, it's sushi. I like it. I mean, it's something that I would probably order if I went to a local sushi place or something like that. But I know it sounds bad, but I've had better sushi at Publix for less money. It's good, but I don't think it's not blow my mind worthy. I wish it had some more stuff to it, especially because they only give you 3 pieces. I wish it had more options on top instead of just being spicy tuna. It's good. I wouldn't get it again. I would probably give it a 6 out of 10 rating. But again, Publix has better sushi. And when in Japan, you have to go shopping for some weird things. Casey went and found these they're little back massage tools. So you could scratch and all that stuff, and it's starting to rain. False alarm. That was one of those weird, it just downpoured for not even 3 seconds and then just went to a sprinkle. That's Florida for you. And it was just one of those it came down quick and then stopped quick. But we are so close to Greece, so we're gonna go get that fried cheese and just kind of griddled cheese. And we're gonna go and just kind of keep eating our way around Epcot. So far, I have my clear winners for the day on the new menu items, and I also have my clear-cut losers, and I think you could figure out what that is, and I'm not salty about that. That's the clue. So Greece is one of the older festival pavilions, food booths. It was in 1996 it was created, and their menu hasn't extremely changed too much, but we are going to get the griddled cheese with pistachios and honey because it is just so good, and it's raining again. All right, so this is the griddled cheese from Greece, and it is just Greek cheese that is put on a flat top. It's super crispy and creamy on the inside, and then it's topped with chopped pistachios and honey. I've had this before, and it is really, really, really good. All right, so there is the piece. There we go. Got a good picture of it. There's the piece of cheese with the honey and pistachio. And like I said, I've had this before. It is really good. But it's one of those things that, even though it's not on the new menu, I know I said I'm trying everything new, it's a must-have, and I love it. And if you've never had griddled cheese before, it's just so good. Now, it is a lot better if it comes straight off the actual flat top, because it's still really ooey gooey melty inside, but the way that they are preparing it, they're basically pre-plating it, so it has a little time to cool off, but it's still nonetheless really good. So a lot of times when you come to Epcot, you have to drink around the world sometimes, right? Especially if you're doing it. But I don't drink anymore. But the nice thing is that Rose and Crown does serve a non-alcoholic beer. So if you're someone who likes the beer taste but does not drink anymore, they do have a non-alcoholic beer, which is a great option. And it's just refreshing on a hot day. And the best part is, no hangover. Love it. Cheers. So we made our way over to the fry basket. Even though there's nothing new on the fry basket menu, we wanted to get over here and we wanted to give the flight a try again, because the sweet potato casserole fries are really, really good. Fry flight acquired. All right, so the fry flight, like I said, I'm gonna do the sweet potatoes first, because I love sweet potato fries, and I love like sweet potato casserole. So it also has like a bunch of nuts on it as well. It tastes just like sweet potato casserole, which is absolutely insanely good. And then I think that's the word for the day, insanely good. But yeah, it is really good. Let's do the barbecue, because I remember barbecue-wise, I think the sweet potatoes were like the best in my opinion. But the barbecue has bacon and some like mayo ranch on it. Okay. Yeah, that's really good. I feel like it's definitely more seasoned than like past fries. Because even just looking at them, the like powder ratio on them is really good. Whether that's a day one festival thing or if that's something that they changed this year, I don't know. But you can see, if you look at the malt and vinegar fries, I don't know if you can see it much, but they have so much more powder on them than they did in like last year. So, cheers. Still not as vinegary as I would like, but they are really good. So far, sweet potato is still the best, and surprisingly, barbecue actually has a really good flavor that I am loving right now. So I'm going back in for a second bite of the sweet potato, because I found a giant cluster of pecans that is like marshmallow. So this bite is the ultimate bite. Look at that. So good. Just so you guys know, a lot of people think that there's always just the booths inside of the pavilions or around World Showcase that has special treats. Well, Joffrey's has a special treat as well. I was waiting for it this morning, but they said it wasn't going to be ready until festival started at 11, and I forgot to go back until now. This is the horchata cold brew. So it's Joffrey's cold brew with whipped cream and basically a horchata, if you can see down the bottom. It's like a horchata kind of like cream, liquid. I don't even know what to call it, to be honest with you. But I wanted it. I love horchata. It's one of my kind of favorite Mexican treats whenever I go somewhere. So I figured Joffrey's cold brew and horchata can't miss. Oh, that's good. That is so good. Now, it is sweet. And again, I'm not a sweet coffee person, but I did want to at least give this a try because I do love horchata and I do need a pick-me-up because it has been a long morning so far. Update, I actually mixed all of it together, way better. So once you actually mix it in with the actual coffee, the coffee kind of it cuts through a lot of that sweetness and it balances everything out. So if you do get this, it's at the Joffrey's right before the Mexico Pavilion, and mix it all up before you take your first bite because that's where it's at. It combines it all together. It makes so much more sense. It's delicious. Before I left, I had to come back over to Brewing because I really wanted to try this earlier and I totally forgot to. This is the frozen fusion drink, which has Twilling's pomegranate tea in it, and then it's topped with orange Dippin' Dots, but it also has orange Dippin' Dots like halfway down too, so it's kind of a layered drink, which awesome. And right now it's a perfect refreshing thing. It's not the milkshake, which is going to weigh you down in this hot weather. So I just had to come back and try it before I leave today. That is so good. I don't even know how to describe the flavor because it almost kind of has two different flavors to it. The tea is super, super refreshing. And then you gotta get like that little pop of the orange pearls, which kind of resemble almost like creamsicle type flavor, which is really good. And then mixed with the pomegranate and the raspberry tea, that is just really, really good. Look at that. That is a great way to end the day. So I wanted to come somewhere kind of quiet to recap everything, because after having that curry cheese from India booth, I think that put me over the edge. That was a lot of food today that we tried, and the unfortunate thing is we haven't even tried everything yet. There's still several new items that were released this year that we haven't had the opportunity to try, but we'll try those on another day. But for now, I think we actually did a pretty good dent. We tried everything that we wanted to try. The pickle milkshake, we tried all of the Mexico Pavilion and the Italy Pavilion, and then some other small ones in between. I do have to say I'm pretty kind of disappointed in the Italian beef sandwich. I know I said that already. They did not do it a service at all. But I just wanted to recap that to kind of go over some things. Food and Wine Festival does go on till November, so there's a lot more eating to happen. So if you don't get it on your first try, hopefully you can come back another time and do it, especially if you're an annual pass holder and you can come here more, you can spread it out. I definitely wanted to try to eat as much as I can today to give you guys as much of a idea of what's good and what's not. And again, remember, everything is your personal preference. As you saw earlier, Casey and I didn't agree on the same thing. One thing that wasn't my favorite was hers, and vice versa. So just remember that. My taste buds are not your taste buds, so don't take everything I say with a grain of salt. Try it and go for it. Speaking of salt, don't do the Italian beef. I'm telling you, that is not a taste bud thing. That is just way too salty. Wasn't good at all. Gross. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for coming along this journey with me and exploring day one of Food and Wine Festival. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments and I will answer them accordingly. If you guys have any suggestions of your own that you liked better, if you like something I didn't, let me know in the comments. And also like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you guys can see every more videos that's coming. I do have a lot more videos that are on the way, that are in the queue, I guess you can say. But for that, I'm going to say goodbye. This is day one of Disney Food and Wine Festival. Thank you so much. You guys have a magical day. We'll catch you later.